Hello, everyone, and welcome to our micro podcast, Retail Talks. I am Christina, and here with me is Darko Pavic, CEO of Fiscal Solutions. Hello, Darko. Nice to see you. How are you?
Hello, Tina. I'm very good, thank you. And I see you are refreshed and really full of energy. Means you had the holidays, right?
Yes, I am great. I really enjoyed my vacation and the beautiful water by the sea. But I am back. And today we are discussing a deal that could change the convenience retail market in Europe. Circle K's parent company plans to acquire Żabka, Poland's leading convenience retail. So today's question is, just a second, did Circle K just start Europe's next convenience store battle? Before we begin, as always, we want to mention that we would love to hear your thoughts and questions, so feel free to share them in the comments. And now, Darko, share with us what exactly is happening.
Let's start with the name of that company. The name is, I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing it right, but I think it's Żabka. Because we have the same wording, let's say, in our country, in ex-Yugoslavian countries, but we call it Żaba. So it means frog. So I'm not sure if there are any guys from Poland watching this video now and this live stream. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Does it mean frog? I think it means frog because most of the Slavic languages are very similar and we are calling frogs Żaba. So probably it means Żaba, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So I hope that somebody will teach us if it's like that or not. Okay, so let me tell you what's actually happening and why this micro podcast today is so important to discuss and what do we expect actually. So we will talk about Żabka, of course, but not only. Żabka is actually a retailer from Poland with 13,000 convenience stores. 13,000. So it's a really, really huge convenience store retailer. Majority of the stores are in Poland, and there are a couple of stores in Romania as well. So they have a certainly partially at least international experience as well. So we'll talk about them, and we will talk about two other retailers with a huge amount of stores. We will talk a little bit about 7-Eleven, and we will talk about Couche-Tard. I hope I pronounce it well. So let me give you a couple of words, who is who, and then what happened, and then we will discuss the consequences and everything else. So 7-Eleven is basically the worldwide, I think, the biggest convenience store chain. They have 87,000 of the stores. Could you imagine that? 87,000, almost 100,000 stores around the globe. Unbelievable. And the company that owns them is called 7&I Holding. It's a Japanese company, although they are very strong in US and very strong in Europe as well. They have a couple of stores, but they're not strong there. The strongest area is Asia, of course. And actually that company, which is biggest retail store, convenience store chain, started a discussion a couple of weeks ago with Żabka to buy them. So this was the initial situation. So they wanted to get the footprint into Europe because in Europe they have just around 300, 400 stores, not that much. And they wanted to expand into Europe, of course. So they started a discussion with Żabka to buy them. But unfortunately, that didn't work. So they officially announced, just 9 days after the start of the discussion, they announced that they were not able to agree the conditions and that they stopped the discussion. At the same time, they announced that they want to open lots of stores in 30 different countries around the European region till 2030. So they are really planning very concrete to expand in Europe. So this is on one side. By the way, we are talking about several billions of dollars. So it's a huge transaction. At the same time, just a couple of days after that, suddenly, or not that suddenly, but at least for the public suddenly, Couche-Tard jumped in. And now, a couple of words about Couche-Tard. Couche-Tard is actually one of the major competitors of 7-Eleven. They are coming from Canada. The head office is in Canada. And they are owner of the chain called Circle K. You mentioned them in introduction. Circle K has around 17,000 stores in 27 countries. So they are more international, of course. But they have a very special concept of the convenience stores. We will discuss this a little bit later. Majority of the stores of Circle K is in US and Canada. In US, they have around 7,000, and in Canada, around 2,100, something like that. And now the interesting part is they are already in Europe present, but just in the north part of the Nordics and Baltic states, means Sweden, Norway, and then Baltic states as well. They have there around 2,700 stores. So they are already quite present in Europe. So a couple of days ago, they announced that they agreed with Żabka about M&A, about purchasing them actually. And that transaction should be finished till end of this year. So it's sure that will happen. And this will create actually really quite big convenience store chain in Europe under the umbrella of Couche-Tard with more than 15,000 stores across the Eastern European countries like Poland and Romania, Nordic states, and of course, Baltic states. So this is what happened. And this is the reason why we want to discuss this today, because the new convenience store chain is created by that, and I'm sure they will expand across the Europe.
Mm-hmm. You really mentioned huge and very impressive numbers of stores. Besides just the stores, is really the most valuable part of this deal, the number of the stores, or maybe the actually operating model of the Żabka, its franchise network, logistics, digital channels, and the ability to make small neighborhood stores profitable.
Yeah, you say it. It's really, really like that. So on one side, of course, the footprint is very important because this means you have the network to sell your products. This is important, they have it. But you are right. Much more important is the knowledge and experience which Żabka has, but Circle K don't have. So this means they are bringing the certain knowledge which can really be helpful for Circle K. But in order to understand the complete picture, let me just give you a couple of words about convenience store retail segment, let's call it like that. Actually, there are three different models. I define it like that. It's not official definition. So one model is created around forecourt. Forecourt is actually petrol station. And that kind of convenience store where you buy your fuel and maybe something on go, like food on the go or snacks or something like that. This is mostly common in North America. And this is very typical special case and the model which is run by Circle K in that area as well. Then you have something what we call, and this is now second model, what we call neighborhood stores. These are like actually the small stores where you can buy everything what you need for your daily life, but where you can run also certain services like pay the bill, like pick up your parcel, or whatever services are needed for the daily life. This is very common in Asia, even more common than in US or Europe. And one of the famous chains, retailers, is 7-Eleven. And then you have the third model, which is actually the strongest one in Europe. And this is like a hybrid model. It's a mixture of all of that. You have supermarkets, small, of course. You have a kiosk, you have a franchise networks, you have petrol stations, of course, local shops, and so on. And all of them are competing with each other. So the market is very fragmented. And now, because the market is that fragmented, it's very difficult to expand in that market. But at the same time, it's not just difficult to expand. At the same time, this is a huge opportunity because there are no big chains that are dictating how the market is running or that are majorly leading the market. So that's why it's a huge opportunity. And Żabka understand that hybrid market very good because they have so many stores in Poland. They understand exactly how to run, let's say, the hybrid model of the convenience stores. And this is what is very interesting for the companies like Circle K.
Mhm. You mentioned already that Circle K has a strong convenience presence in Europe, but much more of it is connected to fuel stations. And on the other
Yes.
hand, Żabka is built around different habits, like you said, frequent fast purchases close to where people live and work. Can you tell us how different are these two convenience models in practice?
Yeah, I prepared a picture for that, let's say, to compare it side by side. Yes, this is very good. So I will run through that picture just to explain it a little bit, but it's very obvious and very logical. So if we talk about store types, I mentioned that Circle K is like a convenience store connected to the petrol station. And Żabka is on the other side, neighborhood stores. So it's a totally different environment. So if we talk about the main reason why the customers are entering that convenience stores, then on the side of Circle K, the main reason is because you need the fuel for your car. On the other side, you are going to the Żabka stores or similar convenience stores because you have to do your daily things, like to buy certain items or to do the certain daily services which you need. The typical locations are also totally different. Circle K, the typical location is actually road because the cars are there. And the typical location for Żabka are residential areas. The more residential areas you have, the more chances to open the Żabka stores you have. So that's connected with each other. If we are talking about customer access, which is very important to make the stores actually successful, it doesn't help you to have the stores if nobody can access it. Circle K needs, of course, something where the cars can access it because you're coming with a car. On the other side, Żabka stores are much easier to access because you are walking to those stores. It's dedicated to the pedestrians or maybe bicycle riders or whomever. So, fuel is something what is very important for the Circle K stores. Fuel is not important at all for the Żabka stores. And if we talk about store operations, and this is something which can be very complex on the side of the petrol stations, this means you have, for example, in the Circle K environment, lots of different store operation modes, like, for example, company operated, dealer operated, company owned, dealer operated, franchised, licensed, and all of that under one umbrella. This is making the concept very complex. On the other side, you have a little bit more simple, let's say, complex, like franchising operated concept. That's what Żabka is running. But you have to be very good in that because it's totally other different game. If we're talking about geography, of course, you see that Circle K has a presence in 27 countries. So they are already experienced international chain. Żabka is not really international. They understand 100% Poland and they just started more or less in Romania. So they have to learn the internationality. Related to the digital environment, I have to agree with you. You mentioned that before. Both of them are very good in the digital environments. I read a couple of months ago, I think, even, that Żabka is testing the self-checkout concepts in those small convenience stores. And they were very successful with that. So I think loyalty and automation of the stores is interesting for both of them. So this is a kind of comparison side by side.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the model that Żabka have can successfully be replicated in other European markets, or is this just in Poland?
It's difficult to say because first, as I mentioned, Żabka is just a local chain which is very big and very successful. In the moment, limited almost 100% to Poland. They have, of course, in other countries, in Romania a little bit as well. To reproduce that model in other countries like Germany, France, Italy, and so on across to Europe, it will need a kind of adaptation. You cannot take it just one by one and put it into another country. You have to think about labor costs, the laws and compliance, of course, opening hours rules, urban structures, customer habits, and all these kind of things. They are not, you should not underestimate that. It's a huge topic. But still, it's easier to do that for Żabka and Żabka's people in Żabka because they have a certain knowledge about Europe than for the people coming from Japan or from US. It's certainly easier for those people. And we should not forget, even if Żabka is not that international, they are bringing certain capabilities to the deal, let's say. Like, for example, how to deal with very small neighborhood locations. This is not easy. So it's a very special way of dealing with those spaces, let's say. They know how to do rapid expansion through the franchises. They did it already 17,000 times. They know how to deal with frequent everyday shopping missions where you have to supply the people with products and services which they need for everyday's life. They know how to deal with those services like parcel collection, payments, and all these kind of things. And this is missing more or less, or at least they don't have it 100% on the other, I mean our Circle K. So it will be like a good addition to that. Circle K on the other side, yes, Circle K on the other side is bringing money, which is needed to expand, purchasing power. They have absolutely great knowledge related to the private labels and these kind of things, and they can scale the supply chain. So this means that could be a really win-win situation, I'm quite sure.
And if this transaction is completed, what could it mean for the wider European retail market? I mean, it will affect for sure.
This is very difficult to say because on one side we will see, let's say, much bigger retailer created in the Europe. They will not stop with Poland or Romania. So they will continue, let's say, growing in other countries. And if that happened, then we will certainly have a kind of the battle between all those different retailers. And now remember that I said that Europe is very fragmented. So this means there are lots of retailers like supermarket chains, grocery chains, and so on, which have a smaller stores as well. So this means Circle K will have to compete with them as well. So they will have, although they have Żabka, which is very experienced, we will face totally new battle. The convenience store will start battling, let's say, to create bigger and more powerful chains. So we will see consolidation in the market. So I'm sure one of the next transactions which will happen will be again in the area of convenience stores. Maybe Carrefour will sell the small stores. Will they sell to somebody, to 7-Eleven or whomever? Because 7-Eleven will not sleep. They will continue. So based on the experiences which I saw in the different markets, as soon as one of the big guys started something like that, other big guys are following because they cannot wait because they will lose the market shares. The longer they wait, the more difficult will be to get into the market. So we will soon see a lots of consolidations and lots of new players in the European market.
We will see, yes. Of course, on the other hand, a deal of this size also comes with challenges. Where do you see the biggest opportunity and what would be the biggest risks here?
In order to identify the opportunity, I want to give you a couple of facts about other parts of the planet, let's say, just to see where the Europe is, because I think the Europe is a huge opportunity. If we think about regions like, for example, Asia, Asia is, from my point of view, the biggest market for the convenience stores. Only the 7-Eleven has around 71,000 stores, not in total 87, but just in Asia, 71,000 stores in Asia, so in Japan and other countries. Just in China, and that was the number from a couple of years ago, 60 of the chains which I identify over there had 150,000 stores. So those markets are really huge. But that means those markets are already saturated. There are big players already there. And now if somebody is coming from US or from Europe or whatever, it will be very difficult to step into the market and to grab the market shares. Very similar picture is in US. Just the model of the convenience store is different. There are 150,000 of the convenience stores in US, and majority of them are selling the fuel as well. There is a statistic, I think, that out of 5 convenience stores in US, 4 of them are selling fuel additionally. So are basically petrol stations with a small supermarket there or small convenience stores. This is also a very saturated market. The only markets which are still not saturated, fragmented, and not consolidated are Europe, or is Europe. And within the Europe, Eastern Europe. Central and Eastern Europe has almost no convenience stores. So there are lots of different things like bakeries and, small kiosk or whatever, but no convenience stores. So this means this is a huge opportunity. The challenge is actually to meet the expectations of the customers because they are different in US. Everybody's, for example, driving car in US and they're not moving by walking around at all. So this means you have to have these kind of convenience stores. In Europe, we are thinking differently. And now the big guys, big companies, big retailers have to meet those expectations. And this is not easy.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For the end, overall, do you think this is a smart move for the Cycle K, and what can other retailers learn from it?
I think it's a very smart move. And if you see how fast these things happened, first the 7-Eleven was discussing with Żabka, and just a couple of days after that, Circle K jumped in. So this means they all these guys already knows what is happening and already have the strategy how to attack and conquer the Europe. So I'm not surprised about that. And I think it's a very smart strategy. If the retailers will learn from that something, I don't think so. Why? Because the retailers are doing this kind of business since many years. M&As, like buying the competition or other retailers or something like that, is very common strategy. Every big retailer is doing that because in one moment they have to grow and it's not enough to grow out of their own power. So they are looking how to grab additional something that can increase the value of the company and create new profits. So that's why they know already that very good. This is just a confirmation that it's good to do it, more or less.
Of course. Thank you, Darko, a lot. And thank you all for spending your time with us today. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment, share, and follow us. See you next week on another episode of Retail Talks. Have a nice day and bye.
Thank you, everyone. See you soon again. Bye. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.